And I am back with ESL Open Cup Americas number 79. Oh boy, it's great to be back. Unfortunately, I am alone today. But there's a good reason. There's a good reason for it. To be fair. But before we get into that, we can get into this series and spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE. We have the Brazilian Terran representing Team The Bad. It is YanXII. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres, we have the American Zerg player representing Team Risen from the Gosu. It is Meowerdoom. I'd be lying if I didn't say that I was practicing saying his name as we were getting ready. Meowerdoom. Oh god. So both these players we have casted on this channel before. We have plenty of VODs of them on our YouTube channel. Meowerdoom is an NA player. He's of course GM, and we have casted him in NA Apprentice. Whether it's NA Apprentice like Code A or Code S, we have casted him in the past. Meanwhile, YanXII, people should recognize him. He was an up-and-comer last year. We cast a lot of him in Battle of the Americas, in Sentimiento Latino, and then towards the end of last year, he kind of disappeared. In the beginning of this year, he wasn't really competing in 2021. And recently he came back, I want to say a month ago. Ducklings pointed it out. I noticed it as well. It's like, hey, we're seeing YanXII pop up a little bit more here and there. A lot of that I imagine is because he was focusing on his studies. YanXII, he's a very young player. I think he's 17. He's one of the youngest in Latin America when it comes to the pro scene. So yeah, he's incredibly young, and it's good to see him back just because we saw so much potential in him last year. It was such a shame when we saw him kind of step away from the game a little bit. But it's good to see him back. It is good to see him back, and now we'll see how they do here in this series. Meanwhile, before we get too far into things, thank you so much, Daunted. Oh god, I just saw the quotes in the chat. Thank you so much, Daunted, for the sub, for the resub. That is 36 months in a row. Jesus Christ, Daunted is one of the OGs. 36 months. That's a long time. 3 years. My god, it's already been 3 years, mate. But thank you so much, really appreciate it. And usually I cast this with Milk and Cookies, at least the beginning of ESL Open Cup Americas, so it is a bit of a shame that he's not here. For those wondering, Milk got a new job. He got a brand new job. He was going for a bunch of interviews for a while, for the past couple of months, to be honest. He was looking for a new job for a while, and he finally got one. Something that's a little bit more consistent and stable. So yeah, as a result, he won't be available to cast ESL Open Cup Americas. I'm not 100% sure what his schedule is looking like when it comes to casting other events. Obviously, I love casting with Milk. Like, we're good friends, and we've been casting for a long time, and of course he's been a part of the CranKy Ducklings since its inception. So he will, you know, be on the channel at some point, and he will be casting at some point, but unfortunately it won't be ESL Open Cup Americas. We'll see if maybe he can like more consistently cast something like Battle of the Americas, or maybe he'll just pop on every now and then for like the DreamHack qualifiers or something like that. I will have to double check, but yeah, hopefully it isn't the last we see of Milk. I know he was also really concerned as well. He's like, yo, I'm like looking for a new job. Is it okay if I do? Like, he was like, yo, like, is that gonna mess you up for casting and stuff? Like, is it gonna be okay? I'm like, no, yeah, it's fine, man, it's fine. Like, you know, you do you. Like, you know, he's gotta take care of himself, right, as well. So yeah, it's all good. Hopefully we see more of him in the future. And things are slowly popping off here, as YanXII did open up with a 1-1-1. He is trying to hit at multiple places at once. We do have the Hellions trying to slip into the third base. At the same time, we have a Liberator sneaking into the main base. Meowerdoom, so far, he does fend off the Hellions, but yo, this Lib is getting damage done. The Queen falls, and now F's in the chat for all this lava. Up. will eventually be pushed away. Oh my, okay. I thought something crazy was going on here. I saw flashing red. I was like, is there a drop? I was just scouting Overlord. It does get dealt with. It does go down. At the same time, Hellions, again, he's not overcommitting. He's not overcommitting at all. He's just slipping in, you know, to kind of testing the water, backing off, keeping the creep spread in check. And as a result, the creep spread just really hasn't been able to leave the bases here of Meowerdoom. So yeah, nicely done. Meanwhile, but do apologize if you hear a dog in the background. Neighbor's dog, man. Feels bad. Ay. But yeah, so far so good for YanXII. He shouldn't be overcommitting with this, and he's already found some damage, right? Getting a queen in the main. So far so good. Third base is already done. We have our upgrades on the way. Meanwhile, Meowerdoom, he has been, he prioritized getting that lair, getting that baneling speed. So just playing this a little bit safe. He didn't try and cut any corners and like go straight into mutas or anything like that. He is just going Ling Bane, and then I imagine either later on into mutas or just rely on Ling Bane and go straight into Hive. Regardless, I'm a fan. I like it. It's good. Oh boy. Alright, here we go. So YanXII, he's going around, he's just scouting. Meanwhile, we have Widow Mines on the way here for YanXII, which is interesting. He hasn't really scouted anything. It's just interesting to me that he opted to go blindly into Widow Mines like this and not necessarily into tanks. It's not something that we see too often. Usually we see like Widow Mines as a response to mutas, but he's just going Widow Mines anyway. This will work because he's just up against Ling Bane. But yeah, it's interesting to see that he wasn't opting to go for any kind of tank push or anything like that. This is more of his preferred style. As he's finally pushing out across the map, what do we have? We have Stim, Combat Shields. Ooh, nice 1-1 timing with this attack. There's a lot of queens, not a lot of Ling Bane. The Banelings are only just now being morphed in, and how many queens are going to fall before they finish up? As one queen does fall in the retreat, but there are just so many queens. There's so much transfuse. The Widow Mines! Okay. They both get baited out, don't really get much value, and with that, YanXII will be forced back. The Banes are ready. You do not want to dive into creep with this here. Oh. Be careful, YanXII, be careful. Okay, he's gonna pick up oh my god, a decent amount of queens are going down for free here. He backs off one, a last Widow Mine shot. Oh, gets baited out by the Lings. The Widow Mines, Bart, puppy, Bart. Oh, two go down for free. I say for free, two go down before they borrow, and honestly, Meowerdoom trading fairly well here. Sure, it cost him a lot of Ling Bane, but he's still got plenty more Lings where that came from. His line of queens are still here as well to just fend this off, and a lot of like the power behind this push is gone. I say that you start to respect this, and the Marines are stimming on forward, picking up another queen, and denying a bunch of these banelings. Oh my god. Nice target fire. The rest of the queens will eventually come in and push this away. Behind this, YanXII, he's on 3 bases. He's working on his 4th. Thankfully for YanXII, even though he doesn't have anything here at home to defend, Meowerdoom hasn't taken advantage of that. He hasn't had any breathing room to send out some run-bys. We should see that soon, though. And what's a little bit scary is that now that YanXII has been focusing on this push, like, creep spread has continued elsewhere. Meanwhile, here come the Marines. Oh my god, more queens are falling. Meow, respond. Okay, here comes the Ling Bane, but it's a little bit too late. Every single queen goes down. And a hot pick up there. Barely any Marines fall. This is disastrous. I mean, thankfully, Meowerdoom, he's replacing his creeping queens, but he lost every single one. Like, how many queens have gone? 12! 12 queens have gone down this game. That's crazy. Meanwhile, Ling Bane tries to go for a run by. There's no creep here. He runs into the bio. Hopefully YanXII's paying attention. Hopefully he's paying attention. The Banes are coming in. No, there's no splits. Oh my god, there's no splits whatsoever. Meowerdoom catches YanXII when he's not paying attention. The first big win for Meowerdoom. Meanwhile, Drop is coming in again. The Ling Bane is responding, but it looks like the Queen here will fall. A couple of drones, but it shouldn't be too much. YanXII should pick up. There we go. Does pick up nicely. At the same time, we had another push here, but it looks like it was dealt with. Drops have to come back home. And now Meowerdoom is getting ready for a counterattack. Sure, he can deny this space, but there are plenty of reinforcements here. YanXII shouldn't lose this CC. Shouldn't lose this. Up. See how we go. Banelings, they connect with all three of those Widow Mines, almost resetting that count. So decent trade from Meowerdoom. Of course, the third base will go back down, and now suddenly things have swung in the favor of Meowerdoom. What I mean by that is that he has weathered the storm. Sure, he's lost queens, but he hasn't really lost any workers. And now he's on 4 bases. He's getting a 5th actually. He has Hive. He's working on his Ultra Cavern. Like, he has successfully teched up, and now Ultras are on the way. And his goal was just to survive with Ling Bane until this point. He skipped mutas, he skipped hydras, he skipped lurkers, all this just to go straight into ultras, and he has succeeded. YanXII had to deal some crippling damage before that happened, and he just wasn't able to. Oh my god, no! Banelings come in, take down more Widow Mines. Again, what's dangerous is that this is just Marines. Like, pure Marine against Ultras? Like, this isn't gonna work. Meanwhile, YanXII, he's getting split apart here. Lings do hit the third base. Looks like the bunker will go down, as well as 11 SCVs. At the same time, you know, it looks like a couple of workers did go down as well. But, again, 5 Ultras are on the way, and that's the killing blow. Meowerdoom is now maxed out. He just has to wait for the ultras. He's throwing away a couple of marines here and there. It's not ideal, but again, all he has to do is wait, buy time, and then when he comes out, there are no marauders, there are no ghosts, there are no liberators. Like, YanXII is just not ready for the hive tech. If it was Ling Bane Muta, then sure, but like, this just is not an ideal army composition. And again, like, his goal was to eventually break one of the bases of his opponents, and he just hasn't been able to do so. Meanwhile, a couple more drones go down, but here come the Big Daddy Ultras. There's nothing to stop him. The only thing that can stop him is if this drop goes into the main, right? Like, there's no anti-air. YanXII sees the tech, he needs to buy time. We finally have a Marauder on the way, but Meowerdoom's not turning around, and YanXII's not committing either. Oh no, he all army hockeyed. Oh god, he will hold on to his base, but he's gonna lose everything else. The drop in the middle of the map is doing nothing, and the Ultras are finally here. Oh god. YanXII was doing so well up until this point. Widow Mines, yo, they're getting pretty good shots off the Marines. They're holding on for now. The Planetary did stand strong, but the third base went down. This drop got cleaned up as well by the reinforcing Ultras. More Ultras are on the way. 3 threes on the way, I believe. Kindness plating. Yep, kindness plating is done. And the only way for YanXII to get back into this is because he has a bunch of medevacs, right? Like, is to go for drops, is to try and keep Meowerdoom busy while he gets a better army. But unfortunately, at this point, like, it's too late because Meowerdoom is already across the map. There's no reason for him to turn around, and in come the Ultras. Oh god, they do need a buffer. To be fair, they, like, pure Ultra isn't the way to go. In some cases it is. Oh god. Planetary goes down. The Ultras come back in on the left hand side. Here we go. Ling Bane is here this time with the army. Like, you can stutter step all you want, buddy, but the Baileys are getting ever closer. When do my shots go off? But the Ultras are now hugging the bio. And GG gets called. Meowerdoom takes game number 1. Live VIP has a dog? I do not. That is the neighbor's dog. Yeah, GG, Meowerdoom. Game 1. Solid game, to be honest. I thought Milk became a Labrador. Oh god. God damn it, Daunted. But yeah, honestly, YanXII held his own, and he almost broke through. Like, again, he was killing the queens, he was getting ever closer to those mineral lands, but all Meowerdoom had to do was hold on long enough for that hive. And, I mean, he did a really good job at it, to be honest. I say really good job. It felt like he just barely managed to pull it off. And with that, that was game 1. We'll see where we end up in game 2. As the lobby has been made, we got to get YanXII in here as well. We're covering this alongside the Portuguese casters, the Portuguese stream. Up. Up. Okay. We're remaking. And I definitely recommend everyone, !B in the chat, by the way, to have a look at the bracket, because the bracket was pretty stacked. I had it pretty hard. It's always difficult in the beginning of the tournament to like pick a series. There were 3 really good ones that I saw that I was interested in, and yeah, it can be difficult, kind of, you know, picking what to go for. We have a lot of big names. I think we also have some big European names that stayed up as well. I could be wrong, but yep, Clem is in the tournament, who is a player, the best Terran in Europe. So he was here last week. Last week, Clem got taken out by Parting. And it could happen again, to be honest. Parting and Clem are in the same half of the bracket, so we could have a rematch. Meanwhile, some other round 1 matches that looked really good is Ares versus Cristiano. Unfortunately, they were a little bit late to set up. Otherwise, I probably would have gone for them. Who else? Obviously, YanXII versus Meowerdoom. There was one other that really stood out to me as I quickly check. Azura versus Tavo. They were also a little bit late. There were also another series that I was looking at. Tavo was here, but Azura was running late a little bit. And the other was, obviously those are all Latin American focused. But the other, as I quickly scroll down the bracket, there was Adominus versus So Focused, because the winner went up against Starduck. Starduck woke up early. I say woke up early, he stayed up late. Starduck has not gone to sleep. He's been up like 24 hours and he is playing in today's tournament. Unfortunately, Adominus's opponent was MIA, so I couldn't jump into that. And it looks like Adominus already defeated his opponent and he is currently facing Starduck in a best of 3. Like, if I can catch their series, I'll try, but they're already mid-series, so it doesn't look likely. But yeah, those are the round 1 matches that really stood out to me. Had a hard time picking between them, and we went for this one because, you know what, these players, they were ready. They are once again ready here in game number 2. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide ALE, we have the Brazilian Terran representing Team The Bad. It is YanXII. Or Yan12. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Romanticide ALE, we have the American Zerg player. He is red, representing Team Risen from the Gosu. It is Meowerdoom. Most terrifying cat in the US of A. Yeah, you heard me, cats. Oh god. So we are on Romanticide, and we'll see how this goes here. So because we're on a larger map like this, it does mean that something like drops can be more difficult to deal with. So in that sense, we can give the edge to YanXII a little bit because of how bio and marine centric his army was and his composition was. At the same time, because this is such a large map, big pushes take a little bit longer to move across the map. There's a lot of creep that they have to mow through. And that means that if Meowerdoom wants to go for that like fast ultra style again, he can. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. There are advantages and disadvantages for both players. Oh my. Meowerdoom is 16 actually, so 2 young players. Ooh, I did not know that. Yeah, 2 16-year-olds essentially. Fun fact. YanXII last year didn't compete in DreamHack Summer specifically. We were like, what the hell? What's going on? And that is because he was underage. He was 15 at the time, and you have to be 16 to compete. So he had to wait until DreamHack Fall to compete. Speaking of, DreamHack Fall is around the corner, and today is YanXII's birthday. So happy birthday, YanXII. He is now 17 years old. No issues competing in DreamHack anymore. Oh. So yeah, cool to hear that Meowerdoom is also 16. Does he have a Liquipedia page? Meowerdoom Liquipedia. Let's find out. I did not spell that correctly. He does not, unfortunately. We gotta work on that. Oh, meanwhile, YanXII just chipping away at the front line, does get pushed away. Something interesting is that Meowerdoom did decide to go for the more aggressive vertical base here as his third, which is something we don't see too often, to be honest. But this does do a couple of things. One, it's a massive launch pad for your creep, as creep spread can spread pretty well here at the front line. Of course, it does mean that later on as a fourth base, you can get a pretty safe one here at the triangular third. But the space is also very exposed. Like, you can be attacked from all different angles. Tank pushes could be a nightmare here as well. Meowerdoom, he has to be on point with destroying these rocks, because if these rocks are still up by the time a tank push does arrive, then they can be very difficult to deal with. Meanwhile, across the map, once again, we have a 1-1-1 opener. This is the exact same thing that YanXII went for in the previous game, where he focuses a lot on the Hellion production and then goes for the Liberator at the same time and tries to sneak in that Liberator into one of the bases and have the Hellions try to pressure the front line. So it looks like that's what he wants to go for. Ooh, picks off a worker. Nicely done. Backs off, and that's what I mean, right? Like, to attack this space, you have like 3 different angles. It's crazy. Oh, tries to dip in once again, but there is no drone here. Doesn't commit. Here we go, 4 more Hellions gonna meet up, so 6 in total alongside that Reaper, and the Liberator has come out, so it is zooming across the map. I'm not too sure, but I think this stim timing is a little bit faster compared to the last game. I could be wrong. I wasn't looking at the timings of the initial bio upgrades, to be honest, so I'm not 100% sure. Ooh. And so far, the Hellions are pushed back. Ooh, the 4 Hellions actually make it into the natural base. Oh my god. They snuck around the entirety of the map, and they do get into the mineral line. 6-8 drones go down. They will eventually be cleaned up, but yo, that Liberator can still dive in. Oh, and was that worth it for YanXII is the question, because last game he had all of his Hellions together, and because of that, he really did like stem the tide of that creep for a long time. He was doing a very good job keeping his Hellions alive. This time he threw a lot of them away for that economic damage, and to be fair, he got a lot of drones, right? As we can see, he got 9 drone kills in total, 8 from that run by. So yeah, it's one of those things where, is it worth it? I mean, sure, he dealt more economic damage, but that does mean that he's giving up his map presence. And that means that Meowerdoom's creep spread should go unpunished or unhindered for much longer this game. I'm also surprised. This Liberator hasn't really done much. He almost killed an Overlord, but didn't kill the Overlord. He didn't dive into any mineral line quite yet, so he just hasn't achieved anything with this. So I don't, honestly, I don't like this opener from YanXII. I prefer the map presence that he had previously. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes as Meowerdoom, he's taking control of his area of the map, ends up expanding even more aggressively here. Again, this base is also a little bit exposed, so it's really interesting that he's decided to expand in this direction. He's not the first Zerg player to do this. I'm always a little bit perplexed whenever it happens, because this base usually dies. I've seen some strong pushes here, but we'll see what YanXII has in store for us, as at the moment he has just focused on his bio production. There we go, Widow Mines once again, so the exact same composition that he went for in game number 1. This time a bit of an earlier factory. I mean, the factory is lined up for 1-1 to go straight into 2-2. It also means that Meowerdoom will need detection to deal with these Widow Mines. But here we go, YanXII, he's showing up, and Banelings are immediately being morphed in. The Banelings, they should be ready for this. Here we go, YanXII's pushing into the newest base of Meowerdoom. The Queens are here, plenty of energy to transfuse. Oh my god, it's disgusting. Here comes the detection as well. First Widow Mine gets focused out before it gets a shut off. And so does the second. Oh, YanXII just gets pushed away, mate. I'm afraid. Oh, the Queens are deep off of creep, though. I'm not too sure about this. One Queen will fall. Nice focus fire there by YanXII. He saw an opportunity and he took it. But this is what I mean. Like, look at this creep. He's halfway across the map, mate. Like, this is disgusting. Oh, finally the Liberator comes in. 2 drones go down. And the Liberator gets away. This is great. Like, he could dive back in and like go for the gas or something like this as well. This will always be a threat here for Meowerdoom. Meanwhile, YanXII, he's reinforcing his push, continuing to push towards this 4th base. He has to be careful though. Again, there's a lot of Ling Bane here. The Queens are already in position as well. I love it. Turns his one Hellion into a Hellbat, because why not? Decent focus fire, but here comes the Banes. Oh god, they don't manage to get any juicy connections, but they are enough to push us away. And honestly, it looks like once again, Meowerdoom, there it is. There's the macro hatch, there's the Infestation Pit. He wants to go Ultras again. Both players going for the same styles, but I think this is gonna work for Meowerdoom. Like, YanXII has to make something happen. Oof. He's just really struggling to push through the defenses. He's struggling to get into any of these bases because he's going for these straight up pushes. I would love it if instead of this, he just went for drops. Like, just straight up drops into these bases because the limited anti-air. Like, go for it, mate. Marines do come in. Oh, he wasn't paying attention, so they will get cleaned up. Meanwhile, we do have this other push here towards the north, but not all the Marines have been barred up. A couple of Widow Mine shots go off, but nothing major. Oh my god! Banelings do roll into the natural base. Thankfully, the splits were there, so YanXII doesn't lose too much, but in the end, 5 SCVs did go down. And I'm just really concerned because, like, so YanXII's composition and what he's going for, you need to be aggressive. You need to be incredibly active to make this work. And I just don't think it's there. Meanwhile, the creep threat is at his base. Like, this is disgusting. The creep threat is already outside his main base. He has so much to clean up. He is now going for a small drop here towards the south. Maybe he can make something happen. He needs to make something happen. Because that hive, it's halfway done. Then in comes the Ultra Cavern, mate. Oh god. There we go, Widow Mines have been barred. A couple of them go off, but nothing juicy again. Ooh, that was pretty good. A lot of Lings do go down. And the drop made it into the main. Lings do respond though. They don't trade that efficiently, to be honest, but here come the Banelings. Nice focus fire. Oh my god. No, they're trapped. The Banelings roll into the 3rd base. The SCVs had nowhere to go. The depot wall was up and 10 SCVs go down. Ay, ay, ay. It's like finally YanXII has a moment to go for these drops and deal some damage, but whenever that happens, Meowerdoom just goes for a counterattack. And now YanXII, he's down in workers. He does have a 4th base, to be fair, and he still has an active army. But, like, you gotta do more than clear creep, and that's all he's really been able to do so far. He's traded against Ling Bane, I guess, but not that amazingly. He's gonna clear up more creep here towards the south, but here comes the Ling Bane. Ultra Cavern is on the way. 3-3 is on the way. We even have a Spire to go into Corruptors to deal with these medevacs, just in case they become a problem. Oh my god, and even here he tried to focus on the hatchery, but the transfusions were far too good. Finally, we do see him drop from the 3rd into the main base. I say the 3rd, but 5th really. Oh my god, the focus fire is decent, but he does get pushed away. Meanwhile, is this the same? Okay, it's a Widowmine drop. Widowmine drop here at the third. Oh, it does bar, no reaction. Finally, some mate, finally he's making some moves. Is it a little bit too late though? That's the question. Because Ultra Cavern's done, mate. Here we go. We have a bit of a Ling run by. There is a planetary here, but the Banelings are looking to get into that mineral line. Oh god, YanXII, please pull him away. Oh god. Oh. Okay, a lot of the Banelings go off on the planetary. 8 SCVs still go down, but honestly, like, finally YanXII, he's making some waves happen here. You go Marines active here in the middle of the map as well. I believe, yep, the Widowmines, they got even more shots off, so 3 more drones go down. Can they get another? Right now, Meowerdoom isn't really responding, so maybe one more Widowmine shot will go off. Nice, he's spreading out the Widowmines pretty decently here as well. Going for this double drop. Meanwhile, this these raids aren't picked up in time. Meanwhile, this Bioforce is trying to hit the third base. Decent spread here. The Ling Bane does come in, and unfortunately, these Widowmines didn't really come into play. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. Oh god, I think I've only seen one good Widowmine connection so far, like on an army. Like typically the Ling Bane comes in and the Banelings actually connect with the Widowmines and take them out before the shots go off. It's been heartbreaking. Oh god. Meanwhile, YanXII, he just keeps reinforcing here at the north side of the map, but it's too late because the Ultras are here. They have finally morphed in, not just the Ultras, but also Corruptors as well. So this time Meowerdoom isn't neglecting his anti-air. And YanXII has transitioned a little bit faster into these Marauders, which is great. Is it going to be enough though? Because in comes the Ling Bane, decent Widowmine shot, but the Ultras, mate, there's nothing to stop them. Where are the Liberators? The Liberators are on the way, but they're not here. Oh my god, the Banelings get into the mineral line, the planetary goes down. YanXII, he is now stuck on 3 bases, and Meowerdoom isn't stopping. The Ultras just keep on coming in. And 4 Widowmines do deal with some of these Ultras, which is great. But YanXII, he lost his base. Oh my god, we even had some miss micro there. GG gets called. And Meowerdoom will take the series 2-0. GG, YanXII. You put up a good fight there. And to be fair, I do think that in game 2 he did have a little bit more going for him compared to game 1. I think there were moments of brilliance in both games, right, where he was able to deal damage. But it took him a long time to finally get into any kind of mineral line and disrupt the economy of Meowerdoom. It took him a very long time. Like, those Widowmine drops were like 15 minutes into the game, for example. And yeah, just couldn't stop the Ultras, mate. GG. And with that, Meowerdoom will move on in the brackets, and he actually moves on to face a Protoss player, a European Protoss, MaxPax. Oh boy.